Hey everyone, and welcome to our session 0 video for our first play along adventure here at Golden Acacia Gaming. And in this series, we're going to play the 5th edition of the tabletop role-playing game Dungeons and Dragons. In this particular adventure, we're going to play an adventure called The Lost Mine of Phandelver. This is one of my favorite adventures. It's actually the first adventure that I played when I got back into tabletop role-playing games back in 2018. I first started playing tabletop role-playing games back when I was a teenager in the early 90s. But after going to college, I gotten away from the hobby. So in 2018, after my kids and we watched the movie Lord of the Rings. We watched the whole trilogy, and it kind of brought back those memories of how much fun I used to have playing tabletop role-playing games. And so I told my kids about it and asked them if that was something that they would be interested in doing. And they said yes. So I did some research, found out about Dungeons and Dragons, that it was up to the 5th edition at the time. Back when I was playing, we were in the 2nd edition of Dungeons and Dragons. And so I end up buying the books and we end up getting back into the hobby, and I've been playing ever since. So this was one of the first adventures I ever played when I got back into playing tabletop role-playing games. So I figured this would be a great adventure to run for you right here on this YouTube channel. So what's really cool about this particular video is that you will actually be able to play along with me right here on YouTube. So there's a lot of actual play videos on YouTube, which are great and which are fun. The only issue with those videos is that you're watching other people play. You're not getting the chance to play yourself. So I figured it would be really cool if there was a way that you could actually play the adventure yourself on YouTube. So that's how I came up with this idea of play along adventure series. And so we're going to play Lost Mine of Phandelver. In this video, I'm going to give you a brief overview of the adventure and share with you how you can play along right here on this YouTube channel. So here's what you're going to need in order to be able to play along with us. First, you need to be familiar with the rules of Dungeons and Dragons. And one of the great things about Dungeons and Dragons is they have a copy of the basic rules that you can access for free online. So I'll put a link in the description of those basic rules. So if you never played before, click on that link, take a look at those rules, look them over, and that will help you to be able to get familiar with the game and how to actually play. If you're already familiar with playing Dungeons and Dragons, then great. You don't have to do that. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to need to create characters. For this particular adventure, they recommend 4 to 5 level 1 characters. So if you're playing by yourself, you can just make a party of 4 to 5 characters. You're good to go. If you're playing for a group of people, each of you can make a character. If you got 4 of you or 5 of you, you can each make 1 character. If it's like 3 of you, 2 of you, then you can make a couple of characters and each of you can play those characters. Alternatively, you also have the option to make less characters at higher levels. So for example, you could create 2 characters that are at level 2, or you could create 1 character that is at level 4. That's not ideal, but it is an option if you don't want to be bothered with managing multiple characters, particularly if you are playing by yourself. Another option, if you have a copy of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, I believe in that rule set, they have rules for how to create sidekicks. Sidekicks are characters that are almost as powerful as main characters. However, they have a lot less options. So that might be a good option for you as well. So you could basically create 1 main character that's a full-fledged character, and then you could create 3 or 4 sidekicks that can accompany that main character. So if you want something easier to manage and you still want to be able to create multiple characters, that would be a good option for you as well. And then if you're familiar with the old Choose Your Own Adventure book series, Choose Your Own Adventures were books that I loved as a kid, where basically you read the book and then they would give you options and then you would pick which option you're going to choose, and then you would turn to that page and the story continues. So you kind of had the opportunity to be able to participate in the story. Well, we're going to use a very similar concept here in these videos. So basically, I'm going to narrate to you what's happening, and then you'll resolve the scene yourself. And then based upon what you decide to do, there'll be a link to additional videos that you can click on based upon the choices that you make. So this adventure is going to be an entire campaign that we're going to run right here on this YouTube channel. And at the conclusion of the event of the campaign, you'll be able to take your characters from level 1 to level 5 if you're starting off with 4 or 5 level 1 characters. So I'm really excited to run this adventure for you. Hopefully you are excited as well to play it. And I look forward to seeing what happens to you and your adventure party.